I came home earlier than expected and found my cheating wife in bed with all three of her lovers. Quietly, I took a gun from the safe, blocked their car, and called her, saying, "Darling, there's been a change of plans. I'll be home in 10 minutes. My life is built on 2 pillars, hard work and trust. As CEO of a luxury hotel chain in Vienna, I juggle high-stakes meetings, investor pitches, and meticulous planning every day. My wife Isabella has always been my rock, or so I thought. I assumed we met early in my career, when I was still climbing the corporate ladder. Isabella had fiery red hair and a laugh that could light up any room. She was the love of my life. We married after 2 years of being in love, and I did everything I could to give her the life she deserved. From a penthouse overlooking the Danube to holidays in Santorini, I thought I'd given her everything, but that illusion was shattered one fateful afternoon. It started as usual: coffee, a quick workout, and a video call with an investor in London. I had planned to attend a social event in Salzburg that evening, but it went on until midnight, and a last-minute cancellation left me unexpectedly free in the afternoon. I decided to surprise Isabella and didn't want to catch her off guard, so I thought of the best way to do it. I fantasized about her joy as I walked through the door with her favorite macarons, which she had at her favorite parties. I never imagined that when I approached our penthouse, I might discover something else. I noticed something strange. The balcony door, which Isabella always locked carefully, was ajar. As I walked in, my chest tightened, and an ominous feeling crept up my spine. The silence was deafening as I walked in. The faint hum of the refrigerator was the only sound, until a low chuckle broke the silence. My heart sank. The sound did not come from the living room or the kitchen, but from our bedroom. I moved quietly, careful not to alert anyone. The door was ajar, just enough to let me see inside. There she was, Isabella, entwined with 3 men. They were laughing, whispering, completely oblivious to the world outside the room. Time stood still. My hands trembled as a wave of emotions hit me: anger, betrayal, disbelief. My wife, a woman I have loved and trusted for over 10 years, has turned our sanctuary into a stage for her infidelity. Countless scenarios flashed through my mind in that moment. I could have stormed into the room and confronted them angrily. I could have screamed and demanded answers or thrown them out. But I controlled my emotions calmly. I would not act impulsively. I would control the situation. I backed up, careful not to make a sound, and walked to the safe in the study, where my pistol was kept, a Glock I had kept for protection, but never thought I would need. I had no intention of using it, but its presence was a statement in itself. Next, I went to the underground car park and found 3 cars I didn't recognize, arrogant luxury cars. I locked them in my car together with the spare key so they wouldn't go anywhere for the time being. Finally, I went back to the balcony, stood in the cool afternoon breeze, and called Isabella. "Darling, I'm starting to sound like a warm-hearted planner who's changed her mind. The dinner's been canceled, so I'll be home in about 10 minutes. There was a long silence on the other end of the line, then a nervous laugh. "Oh good, Leo, I'll see you soon." Her voice gave away nothing, but I could almost hear her mind racing as she thought of ways to cover her tracks. "By the way," I added, making sure the room was tidy, "I hate anything that spoils our evenings." I hung up, without waiting for a response, and went back to the penthouse to prepare for the next step. As I entered the apartment again, I heard hurried footsteps and whispered whispers. Isabella appeared first, her hair disheveled and her face flushed, trying to look casual but her eyes nervously darting around. "Leo, you're early," she said. I forced a smile and replied, "Yes, I placed the macarons evenly on the counter. I wanted to surprise her." Behind her, 3 men appeared, one after the other. They were an incongruous trio, each trying unsuccessfully to look nonchalant. I watched their bravado gradually crumble as the silence continued and said, "Are you going to introduce me to your friend?" Isabella stuttered for words. One of the men, clearly the most daring of the group, stepped forward and said, "Mate, it's not what you think." He started to speak, his voice quavering. "Oh, I think it is exactly what it looks like," I replied, drawing my Glock from behind my back and placing it on the counter. I didn't point at anyone, and I didn't need to. The message was clear and the tension in the room was suffocating. I paced slowly, talking to each of them while pointing at the bold one and saying, "Do you know where my wife got that necklace? I gave it to her on a trip to Venice, a romantic city." Ironically, he didn't answer, his face turning pale. "You two," I continued, turning to the others, "do you even know her middle name, or did she just turn you on?" Finally, I turned to Isabella. I've given you everything, haven't I? I have a life most people can only dream of, and this is how you repay me?" Tears streamed down her face, but I had no sympathy for her. She made her choice. "This is how it will be," I said, my voice cold. "The three of you must leave and never return. Your car is blocked in, so you'll have to wait for a tow truck." Isabella looked at me, her expression pleading. "You pack your things and leave tomorrow. The divorce papers will be on your desk in the morning." The result was messy, but liberating. Isabella tried to apologize, claiming she was lost and needed stimulation, but her words meant nothing to me. I had filed for divorce and made sure the divorce settlement minimized her betrayal as much as possible. They slunk away, humiliated. The three of them, bruised, their pride wounded, their reputations damaged. The word spread quickly through our social circles, and they were too afraid to show their faces again. As for me, I focused on rebuilding my career. Betrayal was painful, but it also woke me up. I threw myself into my work, expanded my hotel chain, and looked for new opportunities. I also started therapy, determined not to let the pain take root. A few months later, I found myself on a yacht in the Mediterranean, attending a business retreat there. I met Sophia, a lawyer with a sharp wit and a kind heart, who, unlike Isabella, valued honesty and integrity. Most importantly, our connection was instant, but this time I was cautious. I took the time to relearn trust, step by step. Sophia taught me that betrayal didn't define me. It was just a chapter in my story, not the whole of me. I not only found love, but also a new purpose. As the sun set over the sparkling water, I raised my glass of champagne and realized that life can sometimes knock you down, and then make you stronger and wiser. Sometimes, I whispered, the worst betrayals lead to the best beginnings. And so I closed the chapter on my past and prepared for the future. I noticed that many people who like these stories have not yet subscribed. By subscribing, you're not only following a channel, you're also becoming part of a community that values insightful and meaningful storytelling. Together, let's continue exploring these heartfelt journeys. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss our next story.